Hi, I'm Andrew Orange. Thank you for watching, and today we want to give you a few more tips on lighting, and today's topic is reflected light. Well, reflected light is arguably the easiest form of light to live with because it hides the lighting source and uses the light that comes from it but reflecting off surfaces to illuminate a space. This reduces any risk of glare. So I would really encourage you, wherever you can, in every scheme, try and hide a source of light and use its reflected light as a way of illuminating a space. But when we do so, we need to gauge how much light is actually leaving the fixture and getting into the space we're trying to light. So how do we do that? Well, here are a few tips to remember when reflecting light. Well, number one of the main reasons reflected light is so pleasing is that it illuminates surfaces along its travels. So remember to use walls and to use ceilings as lighting reflectors. Well, number two, we have to remember though that when we are reflecting light, when the light hits a surface, it will be absorbed and in varying degrees. So let's take a look at this diagram. You'll see that if we're reflecting light onto a ceiling, we're going to get about 70 to 80% back. But once the light hits a wall, we're going to lose 50% of it as it's reflected off and down further into the space. And once it hits the floor, we're only going to get around 25% back up into the space. So each time the light is bouncing off a surface, we're losing some. And number three, let's not forget that when we are reflecting light off a surface, the darker the surface, the more light that will be absorbed, so the less light will be reflected back. So obviously the darkest, which would be black, absorbs the most light, therefore offers the least amount back, whereas white would reflect the most light and give us the most light back into a space. Well, number four, be aware though, reflected light can also be detrimental. Let's take LED strip. A simple low output LED strip hidden somewhere in a room can actually produce quite a lot of light, and the light will find its way through the space and reflect off, say, a ceiling, spoiling the effect because we don't want light to be seen at the top on high level on the ceiling. We wanted it to be lower down, but it's being shot across the room and reflecting back down. So be aware, reflected light can also spoil a scheme. So we need to be aware that's something that needs to be protected against. And number five, one of my favourites always is layering of light. Reflected light is a great way of layering. We can provide the source at a lower level, which is out of sight, but the light itself can be seen, say, reflected onto a ceiling. So we can it's a great tool of bringing light high, middle and low. We project light off a surface, say a ceiling, and into the space. Well, thank you for watching. Do look out for our next video, and do remember orangelighting.co.uk, and we'll see you again.